So I wanted to wrap up today's show by discussing something that I think sort of ties together all of these issues: drones, war, race, class, privilege, and so on. And, we've been beating up on Wade and Scott a lot today, and I'm going to pile on just a little bit, but not actually too much, by talking about a comment that Wade made a couple of weeks ago that got me thinking. So this is what he had to say about preserving American lives a couple of weeks back.
Whatever utilizes the best method to disrupt our enemy with the minimal cost in American lives, I'm support. I'm sorry to say it, but I care much more about American lives than I do Afghani lives. That may be terrible to some of you, but it's just how I feel, and a lot of Americans feel. Y'all know that.
So as you would imagine, on the next episode, a caller had called in to rebuke that kind of thinking from Wade, which I definitely agree with. I don't think that people's lives in other countries are worth less than American lives. But the exchange still got me thinking in general, because the fact is, Wade is actually right. People do generally put a higher value on the lives of their countrymen than on the lives of others. So why is that? I put a little thought into it. This is what I came up with. Let me know what you think. So morality comes in at least two different forms, and people have generally the instinctual morals to, for instance, take care of their children, because that's how their genes get passed on. So it's evolutionarily beneficial to do that. So that's instinctual. But the morality of treating people who are different race or nationality from you and treating them equally is not necessarily instinctual, because we've evolved to trust people who look similar to us and be wary of those who are different from us, because that's an evolutionarily beneficial way to think in a world of like tribal conflicts and so on, when you're going to get attacked by the people across the river who look slightly different from you because they might take your land or resources or whatever. So knowing to treat people equally, even if they look different from you, isn't more of an intellectual morality rather than an instinctual one. That's the one that we've sort of, once you can look outside yourself, then you can recognize, hey, it really makes sense that everyone's the same. So since we're tribal, we've developed the instinct to, again, for instance, value the lives of our own families over the lives of others. And this is practically universal. And it stands to reason that the value of the lives of those close to us beyond our family that we're most connected to and dependent on, so like family, friends, neighbors, and then even beyond those in our city, those in our state, those in our country, that we would treat them sort of similarly. We all live within the same infrastructure of our society and our government. We all benefit and gain strength from each other by being in groups the way we are. It's just how we're built, is to be sort of tribal. So it's actually quite logical to have the instinctual affinity with those who share your society and have less feelings for those in foreign countries who aren't in a position to help us, like societally speaking, the way we're structured right now. So that's speaking instinctually, and it has its own sort of selfish morality to it. It's sort of similar to the way most people understand that it's not necessarily immoral to steal bread if you're using it to feed your starving family, right? So it's not a clean morality, but it's there somewhere. So speaking intellectually and objectively, in a way like an alien who came to Earth would see it, you could just say, like, yeah, we should be able to understand that there are no true differences between people around the world. And that's thinking of it intellectually and really objectively and selflessly. So from Wade's personal perspective, looking at people very subjectively, some people are literally worth more to him. They have a higher value because they are connected to him, either family or friends, and so on. And so societally, city, state, nationally, people in your own country, they bring literal value to your life in a way that people in foreign countries don't, when the human species is divided by countries the way it is. Now, however, looking at people around the world objectively, we'd all agree that no nationality, race, color, creed, gender, etc. of people are actually worth more than any other. So the question is whether you're going to look at the world selfishly or objectively. And it's not really a difference of opinion on a single question of morality with which, people can just disagree. It's literally two different questions of morality. It's two different paths of morality that you can kind of understand both. But one is sort of unexamined and instinctual, and the other is intellectual and reasoned. And, I think instincts are great and they've done a lot for humanity to get us where we are today. But one of the great things that our instincts have let us evolve is our intellect. So we have to actually make sure we use that intellect if we want to continue to improve as a species, which is why it's sort of a recurring theme on this show for me to encourage people to really think about why they think what they think, why they feel what they feel, rather than just going with their instincts. Because instincts are only good up to a point. When there's actually a greater, higher morality beyond that we can achieve only through looking at things intellectually and really reasoning through them rather than just going with our gut.